Welcome to day 8 of the 12 Days of Command. Yesterday I introduced you to the Campaigns applet, and we're going to be continuing that today and looking at the paid social ads. This allows you to run sponsored Facebook or Instagram ads to reach people who don't already follow your business pages. Let's take a look. So the main difference between social posts and social ads are posts are free and they're going to go out on your page, and anyone who follows your page is going to see them. With paid ads, the intention is to reach people who aren't already following your page, hopefully generate some leads, grow your database, and get some more brand awareness and exposure in the community. So let's go ahead and click Create Campaign. And this time we're going to choose a social ad. You have to give your campaign a name, so I'm going to run through how to create an ad for one of your active listings, and then afterwards we'll look at an ad that you can create even if you don't have any listings to advertise. Then we have our goal, and you might think that advertising the listing is your goal, and that may be, but we've found better results by choosing attract buyers, because regardless, even if you're advertising a listing, the goal is to find someone to buy the house, but it will also allow you to generate more buyer leads because they may not be interested in that house, but you can always help them buy another house. So choosing attract buyers when you're advertising a listing is typically going to get you the best results. Then you have to choose where your campaign is going to run. You can do Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Of course, you do need to have those accounts connected in your settings, which we looked at on day 1. So just make sure you've done that, and then you'll be able to choose any of these options. So I'm going to go with Facebook just for this example, and we'll click Create Campaign. Okay, so on the left-hand side is where we're going to start building our campaign, and then it's going to start generating a preview on the right-hand side. So we've already picked our name and goal. That's the first option here, but again, you can change it if you need to. Next is the listing. So we're going to click Add Listing, and then you're going to get this MLS search. Now, the very first thing you need to do is right here where it says Show Only My Listings. You need to change that to Show All Listings. It's just the way our MLS feed functions. Then you can come up and search the property address. You can also search by MLS number or listing agent if needed, but I'm just going to pick up a random listing. We'll go with this one. It's not actually here, but that's fine. So we will select this one. And now you can see as soon as I select that listing, the first photo is the listing photo, and then a description has already populated in here. So if I click on Configure next to our text, that's where you can edit this. So the main copy here is already filled in. This one is actually really good, but some things that you may want to keep an eye out for is not putting the price or the number of beds or number of baths, things that are going to stop someone from clicking on your ad. You don't want to have those in the description. You want them to click on it so that you get their information as a lead, and then you can reach out and help them find a house that does work for them if this wasn't the right fit. So we want to leave as much to the imagination as we can and entice them to click on our ad to get more information. Then you have your headline, and you only have 25 characters for this, so you do have to be a bit creative with it, but it is a good spot to put any main features about the house. This one has a pool, maybe it's close to amenities, maybe it's a waterfront property, rental property, whatever it is, whatever you can fit in 25 characters, you can put into that headline. Then you have description, which is just a small text down here at the very bottom. And this is a good spot for some other information that you couldn't fit into the main copy. Again, we only had 250 characters for the caption, so there may be more information you want to put in here, like the MLS number. A call to action is always good, like click learn more. For all property details. It seems silly, but if you do tell them to click it, they're much more likely to actually click it. So we'll save the text once we're happy with that, and we'll move on to media. So as you can see, we have the first listing photo here, but we can add more, and these pull directly from the listing photos on MLS. So I do recommend 1 to 3 photos is usually more than enough. Again, you want to leave some things to the imagination, and entice them to click on it. So some things like a nice kitchen or a nice backyard, whatever you think are the best features of that home, you should put here as a photo. So we're going to crop that image. You can move this around to get the best angle and then save it. So we've added our second photo, and now you can see that there's a carousel that's going to slide through the different photos you choose. Then we have the DBA logo, which is just our Market Center logo, and as long as that's uploaded in your marketing profile, it's going to show up here. You can choose if you want it on the left or the right. So right now it's on the right, but you can move that if needed. And you can also include the ownership statement, which is each office is independently owned and operated. So we'll save that. Then we have Facebook settings. So your Facebook account will show up here, and then you have to choose which page you're running the ad on. We've chosen ours here. Then we have our destination, which when someone clicks on the ad, this is where it's going to take them. So with a listing, we're promising property details, so you want this link to send them somewhere that's going to have all of those property details. Now there's a few places you can send them to, preferably your own website. So if you have a website through Command, you can find the listing on there and send the link. You have Realtor.ca as an option. You have the KW Select website with all of our listings as an option as well. So there's a few places that you can do that. But by far, I do recommend, if you don't have your own website, to at least set up your agent site in Command and link it to there. So I'm going to pop over to my agent site here quickly, and we'll search for that property address, which it's right here. So I'm going to pull this up. This is the listing. Of course, you can only do this with your own listings, so don't go start making ads for other people's listings, but I'm just using this as an example. So I've copied the URL to this particular page. So that's the link that actually takes you there. And then I'm going to go back to the website URL field in my ad and paste that in. Okay, so that's loaded. So now when they click on the ad, it will bring them to the site. However, there's one more step that you'll need to take, and that is choosing whether you're going to use the Facebook lead generation form or send them directly to your site. So that's the two options workflow-wise. You run your ad, someone clicks on it, and then it brings them directly to the website. That would be the site or landing page option. However, you're not going to generate any leads that way because you're sending them directly to the site and they don't have to give you their information. When you choose Facebook lead generation form, when they click on that ad, it pops up, it asks for their name, email, and phone number, and they cannot continue until they provide you with that info. So then as soon as they submit that, they're added as a lead in your Command database, you'll get a notification, and then you can follow up with them from there. Next is our audience. So this is who you want to target with your ad. Now, if you're new to Facebook or social media marketing and you don't know much about targeting, I'll always recommend using the auto audience. Now, Facebook and Command built this section of Command together, and it's all set up specifically for real estate targeting, and so you don't actually have to do a whole lot besides choosing the location that you want the ad to run. Now, you will notice it'll typically default to Austin, Texas if it does not recognize the town on that listing, so you will probably have to come in and change the location. So we can click X beside United States. You can run ads in any country, any city. We're going to run this in Halifax. Okay. You could run this in Toronto if you're looking to find some out-of-province buyers. Wherever you want to attract clients, this is where you want to run the ad. So we've run this in Halifax, and we can set a radius up to 80 kilometers. So I could do 60 kilometers from Halifax. And as you change this information, on the right-hand side, you're going to see your audience definition, and you want to keep it in the green here. That just means that it's a well-defined audience. It's not too broad, but it's not too specific, and you'll reach a good amount of people. So we're going to save that. Then we have our lead settings. So this is a nice thing if you are using Smart Plans. You can set it up so any leads that you get from this ad, so someone clicks on it, they fill in their info, you can set up a Smart Plan ahead of time and then automatically link any leads to that Smart Plan. So I can choose my Facebook lead follow-up smart plan here, and as soon as someone gives me their info, they're in my database as a lead, and then they're already receiving the emails that are in my smart plan. Okay, you can also choose to auto tag your leads. So you might have a tag that's 123 Main Street Facebook lead that gets added to all of your leads from this particular campaign. And then in your contacts, you have the ability to target those people, send them messages outside of your typical smart plan. So that's just good for the organization side of things. So we've added that and we'll save it. And lastly is duration and budget. So you're just choosing how long you want the ad to run. So we'll do December 20th to December 30th, that's 10 days. You choose your budget, so how much do you want to spend total, which will calculate a daily budget. Now just keep in mind this budget is in American dollars, so if you choose 30, your credit card is going to be charged for however much it is in American at that time based on the exchange rate, but just keep that in mind. So if I'm happy with this budget, I can save it. Then I can look through the ad and just make sure everything is looking good and it's set up how I want. And then the final step is to publish the campaign. So I'm not going to publish this because I don't want to actually advertise this listing in Ontario. So I'm going to save draft. If I would have clicked publish, it would have been sort of in a limbo state right now. It would say processing or in progress, something along those lines. And Facebook needs to make sure that your ad meets their terms of service, so it's going to check everything over before it approves it. Now, no matter what, if I publish this ad today, it will not go live today. As long as it's approved by midnight tonight, it typically goes up right at midnight the next day. So 12:01 tomorrow, you will see this ad pop up if you publish it today. So now that you know how to run an ad for your listings, let's take a look at ads you can run even if you don't have a listing, which is really important because even if you don't have a listing to advertise, you'll probably still want to lead generate. So the ad we're going to run today is going to require a graphic of some sort that you make in Designs, and you're going to need your website, preferably the KW Agent site for the features I'm going to show you today. But if you do have your own website outside of Command, you may have these features as well. Just check on that. So I'm going to click Create Campaign again, and of course choose a social ad. I'm just going to call this Buyer Leads. Our goal, again, is going to be attract buyers. Again, we'll choose Facebook and click Create Campaign. So because we're not advertising a listing, we're just going to skip over this ad listing portion here and go right into the text. In order to start filling in all the information on the ad and making a graphic, first you need to know what you're actually advertising. So let's hop over to our agent website and take a look at some of the different things that you can do. So I'm going to search just for Bedford, Nova Scotia as an example. So maybe I want to run an ad just saying, here's all the listings in Bedford right now. Simple as that. And then I'm going to copy the URL to this page. You can see it's very long, but the nice thing with these URLs is they are live links. So right now I'm looking at this page. There's 89 properties listed near Bedford. I can copy this link, send it to anyone, and they'll come in and see those same properties. If they click that link, the exact same link next week, there might be 100 properties. There might be 50 properties. If anything has sold, it will be removed from the list and any new listings will show up. So when I say it's a live link, essentially it's just updating with this search based on what's on MLS at that time. You can also get more detailed with it and start using the filters. So maybe I want to see all of the homes in Bedford up to 400,000. And then I only want it to include houses, apartments, so we just don't want any land there. So we're going to check all those off except for land. So now we're just seeing all of the properties in this area that are listed for under 400K. So now that we have a specific search, I'm going to copy the link and head back to my campaign. And now I can start building this ad because I know what I'm advertising. So, did you know there are still homes for sale in Bedford for under $1 Emojis are always good, so you have this little smiley face down at the bottom, and you can add those, which just catch people's attention a little bit more. So I might want a house, and maybe I'm shocked. For headline, of course, you can get a little more creative. So we'll save that. Then you have your media. Again, I said you should have a graphic made for this, something that's a little eye-catching, even if it's a stock photo, just make sure that you have permission to use it. But I can select media here, and I'll just add a image from my design library. Now you'll see on the right that that ad is starting to come together. Okay, so we already went over the logos in the last one, so we'll leave that as is. Then again, we configure our settings, Facebook page, choose ours. Then in our ad here, we're going to keep the lead generation form on so that we're generating those leads and getting those people's information. But I'm going to go back to my website, and again, we've copied this URL at the top, and we're going to paste that in. You just have to remove this beginning part and then paste your link in there. So someone clicks on their ad, they fill in their info, and they're brought directly to the page with all of the listings that meet the criteria that you've advertised. Okay, the rest of the process is the same with targeting your lead settings. You'll probably want to have a smart plan set up, and then your budget as well. But that's just one idea for an ad that you can run if you don't have a listing. Now, heading back to the agent site, there's way more filters you can do. You can do number of beds, number of baths, square footage, year built, pools, garage, all of those different things. And you can also filter by open houses coming up and price reductions in the last 7 days. So you could advertise, here's all the properties in Bedford that have been price reduced in the last 7 days. Okay, so I'll save this as a draft because we're done with that. So now that you're generating some leads, you know how to follow up with them. Hopefully the next step is that one of them wants to actually buy or sell a house. So tomorrow we're going to be looking at opportunities, which is where you can track all of your transactions from the minute you meet someone and start talking about real estate till when their property closes. You have a pipeline in there to track it all visually, and you can create checklists, and eventually you'll upload your paperwork, use DocuSign through there, and a whole lot more. See you then.